Well, hello there, beautiful people. How are you guys doing today? Well, I hope you guys are having a great day. I am having a pretty blessed day myself, okay? So we are here. We're here at Channel Pretty Girl Love Trap Content, and we are talking about Power Book 2, Season 2, Episode 7, Forced My Hand. You guys, this episode was okay. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was okay. You know, I'm taking it as it is because I know, when it comes to power, okay, we are going to see fireworks either episode 8 or 9. So I'm going to strap on my little seatbelt and enjoy this ride, okay? So I'm all right with episode 7 being, just average in my opinion. Of course, it wasn't bad at all. But of course, I enjoyed episode 5 and 6 much better. Nonetheless, we are going to get right into this episode, okay? So Drew and Papi Chulo, okay, they are having a father and Sunday, okay? They're having a cute little outing. And it's not your typical, softball game. They're not playing frisbee, okay? They're not getting ice cream. They are about to assassinate some Negroes, okay? So, long story short, we are in the midst of killing the ops, okay? Kino, all right? And, he's in some abandoned building or what have you. Some building that is clearly not up to code and have not been inspected since World War II, okay? So he is, just aggressively behind this woman without the clothes on and whatnot. And so we see Drew and Papi Chulo. And Drew, he just gives old boy a perfect headshot. I'm like, oh, Drew, are we a marksman now? Like, we came a long way from when Kane took you to the to the gun range a few episodes ago, but I'm not mad, okay? And so, of course, the girl, she's all screaming and whatnot. And Drew was like, hey, yeah, nice young lady here. Just, ensure me that you will make sure that you did not see anything that just went on in the past 3 minutes, okay? And so she was agreeing like, okay. So Kino's homeboy, he was all in it with the operation and what have you. He ends up killing old girl. And Drew was like, hey, Papi Chulo, this wasn't part of the plan. But Papi Chulo said, hey, no loose ends, okay? No loose ends, okay? And I kind of wish Ghost had this method and theory a few times in Power. But I'm going to let that be, okay? So, y'all, we see Monet. She's at the bar that ain't never open, okay? And I'm like, so annoyed because this is definitely a revenue stream that we can, be using. I'm just saying, this bar, it don't look that big, but y'all could really be popping up in here, okay? Like, people loves the alcohol, but I'm going to just digress on that, whatever. Maybe it'll be open next season. We don't know, okay? So Monet gets a visit from Uncle Frank's wife. Remember, we killed Uncle Frank last season because he was snitching and whatnot. And his wife is actually, I can't remember the actress name offhand, but she was the female cop in New York Undercover. Okay, that was my beloved show. I love it. And actually starting to play on BET. I believe they said last week. So I need to get the episodes in and whatnot. That's one of my shows, y'all. So, she's asking Monet, like, hey, my hubby, he's gone missing. And the last time I heard, when he was alive, he was on his way to see you. So, of course, Monet is playing stupid, as she should. And she offers his wife, a knot of money, okay? I'm not exactly sure how much it was, but it was too much for goddamn me, okay? I'm just saying, she handed her a knot, and I'm not sure if Frank's widow is seeing this as an admission of guilt or truly a good deed. I don't know how she's going to take it, but at the end of the day, she told Monet to tell Lorenzo to be careful out there. So I'm not sure if she's trying to be seeking for revenge, as Drake said, or if she truly, is concerned and saying, hey, we in this life and you need to see if your husband is careful. So I'm not sure But I hope this is not the last we see of her, okay? I love her. She looks gorgeous. She has not aged, you know what I'm saying, that much, which is great because, you know, she kind of got the little melanin and whatnot. So, you know, she's not cracking. So that, you know, I hope we see her again. But if we do see her again, it may be because somebody is about to die. So I don't know, y'all. But yeah, she is definitely a great asset to the show if she remains on. So y'all, we are at the church house, okay? So Tariq is meeting with Davis and Sax. And Davis tells Tariq, like, hey, we got some video footage of when Ramirez was shot, and everybody says, you know, looks like you. And I'm like, see, this is some great example of racism, okay? Because clearly Kane and Tariq does not look alike, okay? They do not look alike, but of course, you know, they probably gave a loose description, black male between 5'5" and 5'7", and yeah, it's not Tariq, and Tariq knows it ain't him. And David says, hey, somebody is framing you, bro. Somebody's framing you. Tariq was like, hey, I'm not snitching, okay? Because the snitches end up in the ditches and whatnot, okay? And I just can't do it. So Drew and Poppy, they return home after their little outing and what have you. And of course, Monet smelled the felonies up in the house, okay? She know they done did something wrong. And she was like, hey, I know you didn't just have my boy in danger or whatnot, okay? He just got shot. And Papi Chulo was like, hey, I made sure our child was safe, okay? And so Monet, she's pleading to Lorenzo. I was like, hey, we need to get out of this game. It's not safe, okay? And Lorenzo said, hey, we wanted safety. We could have opened a car wash. And I'm like, true. But yeah, you guys have a bar. Come on, do like what Ghost was trying to do. I'm just saying. But these type of people, they just love the thrill of the the crimes of it all, okay? We just gonna put it like that. So, of course, Papi Chulo's not hearing it and shuts Monet down. He wants to stay with the criminal ex and whatnot. So we see Brayden and Tariq. They are looking at the frat book, and they're just going through the pictures, and Tariq, he finds an incriminating photo. Of course, we do not see it, and Brayden declines Tariq's use of the photo. And Tariq was like, hey, bro, this can possibly save my life. And Brayden was like, well, this can possibly damage my family and my family's name. I cannot let you have this photo. So Tariq is disappointed, but Tariq is not quitting that easy, okay? Because in the next scene, we see that he is telling Tate about this photo, okay? So apparently Sweeney is in blackface and he's pretending to be OJ, and Father Weston, he is actually playing Nicole. And so apparently Sweeney, who is OJ, has Nicole, aka Father Weston, in a headlock, and it's probably most likely for, you know, Halloween or what have you, but nonetheless, it's effed up, okay? And Tate, he has a hard on, okay? He is so excited to hear about this information. But Tariq was like, hey, I just want to make sure that the Westons are safe, okay? I just want to make sure they are good because my friend, you know, this is family. So Tate was like, bro, F your family, your friend and his family. I am your great black hope, okay? And I am the only way you can possibly get your sister back. So F them people, okay? Tate does not care at all, okay? So y'all, we're in the classroom and Professor Milgram looks up, you know what I'm saying? She sees Tariq coming through the door. So she's like, how did he get bail? And I'm like, yeah, sorry, I was about to curse. I just stopped myself. I was like, yeah, you slut floozy, sexaholic, you. Yeah, he's out. He's out and he's ready for the lesson of the day. I'm not sure if he did his homework, okay, because he was in the jail and whatnot. But yeah, girl, he is back in class, okay? And they're pretty much discussing decisions that people make on behalf of other people without their consent, which is the thread of the entire episode. I really enjoy the classroom scenes, y'all. It may be dull to some people, but I really enjoy it, okay? And they also discuss the raid in terms of the campus and how Lauren had drugs in her room. And light skinned Keisha, aka Bruchandria, she was kind of upset about that whole raid. And I'm like, girl, did you ever apologize to Lauren? Because I know you put two and two together and realized those were your drugs that Lauren had in her room. So I wonder if they had a little, apology session or whatnot, because girl, that ain't cool. That is not cool, all right? So y'all, after class, Tariq, he, goes after Lauren, and he's like, hey, why you never told me about the drug situation? And she was like, well, I thought you would have heard. Everybody else knew about it. So I need to stop, because Lauren, she had this bomb behind Burberry shirt, okay? Like, I got to give a little hand clap for the wardrobe people, okay? They be giving us the looks and whatnot. So Lauren, she was pretty much giving Tariq the cold shoulder and was pretty much saying like, hey, I should not be seen with you. It's not smart. So yeah, bye-bye, Tariq. I was like, okay, Lauren, you smelling yourself, but all right. So Davis, he meets up with Paula, okay? And Paula is looking good, okay? It ain't nothing like you possibly going to see your ex or whatnot and making sure you looking good and smelling good and whatnot. Of course, I don't know about that because I'm a married woman and whatnot. But I'm just saying, you always got to make sure you are put together regardless of where you're going out in the public and whatnot, okay? So Davis was like, hey, Tariq named you as his alibi for, the whole Ramirez situation. And she was like, well, I cannot take the stand, even if that is true, because I was actually meeting up with him because I was showing him the video of him confessing him killing his father, okay, which was illegally obtained from your partner. So yeah, y'all, that's a dead end. So Tariq, he goes to Davis's office and he asks, hey, is my ex-girlfriend Lauren involved in this case? Because I was, aware of her, being caught up in some drug situation in a raid. So, of course, Sax, he's, in the room, of course. And he asked Tariq, like, hey, what does she look like? And so Tariq showed him a picture of him and Lauren. And so, of course, Sax is just not looking smooth at all. You clearly could tell something is going on in his brain, but he does not tell Tariq anything. And Tariq also discusses his sister being put on the stand, but he does not want to do so. But Davis possibly wants to use Yaz as an option. So when Tariq leaves, David's like, okay, you was looking real weird when he showed you the picture of the girlfriend. So Sax told Davis like, hey, I saw this same girl coming out of Jenny's office. So yeah, Tariq may be onto something. So y'all, we are met with the scene with the lover boys, okay? We see Everett and the Drew, and they are having the sex and whatnot. And so we get a knock at the door, and look who it is, Whitman. And I'm like, Whitman, I know you're a detective, and you don't necessarily have a 9-to-5 schedule. But sir, it's clearly after 8 p.m., okay? We don't have time for you to knock in on our doors. And you are approaching college students like, that doesn't seem like right. How do y'all feel about that? I'm just saying, it seemed too late for him to be knocking on somebody's door. But Everett, he opens the door, whatever. And of course, Drew, he hides in the bathroom. And so Everett's pretty much just asking him like, hey, what's going on? How may I help you? And Whitman was like, hey, I saw that you had some details that you listed on the statement. And I just had some additional questions. Of course, Everett's doing a horrible job acting like he don't know nothing about these murders and whatnot. And Whitman was kind of peeping the background, and he's seen all these shoes and whatnot on the floor. So I'm not sure if they're going to show that, Whitman thinks that Everett is possibly gay, because technically that can all be Everett's shoes, because it can be. He's a college student. They could be messy. Grown men out here being messy. So I don't think that means anything, but hey, this is power. We don't know. But long story short, Everett tells Whitman, aka Detective Doing Too Damn Much, like, I don't have anything else to add to what I previously said. So Whitman goes on his very merry way, okay? So y'all, We see Zeke now. He's on the court. And we saw last episode, Mecca, he was out in the car just being stalkerish in terms of seeing his son or what have you. And so he comes on the court and he says, Luke, I am your father. Nah, y'all. But long story short, Mecca was like, hey, you got to go form there. You got 1 foot that's half a foot or half a size bigger than the other, right? And of course, Zeke was like, yeah, how'd you know that? He was like, it runs in our family. So Zeke, he got the dumb face. And so he tells, Zeke, like, hey, I'm your father. And if you don't believe me, here's this raggedy ass tattoo on my arm to show, hey, I got your name from Ezekiel, from the Bible. Here's the verse, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, Zeke, he's really not feeling, very comfortable in this situation. So he's telling Mecca to back up. But Mecca tells him, hey, ask your mama, ask your mammy, okay, about me, okay? And I'm like, Mecca, could you just say ask Monet? Monet's your mama? Like, I was just annoyed because I'm like, you're leaving too much room for interpretation here. I'm just saying, Mecca, you could do a little better with that or what have you, but maybe were you nervous? I don't know. But yeah, y'all, Mecca tried to, I don't know. I just feel like he could have handled that a little different. And it doesn't look good since Zeke is a draft prospect. You know what I'm saying? He really is showing that, hey, this is kind of bad timing because you really could be looking like, hey, you just out here trying to get them pockets, okay? So, y'all, we see Professor Sexaholic. She on Clubhouse or what have you, snooping in her office. And she's hearing all of her students telling all of her business, okay? And they're talking about how she's out there, was giving the draws to Professor Plagiarization. She out there giving the draws to Zeke. And, yeah, she out there being a hot-ass mess, okay? And so Tate walks in, asking Carrie why he wasn't invited to Professor Jabari, a.k.a. Plagiarization's memorial. And she was like, hey, it was limited seating, and you didn't really know the nigga, okay? So you don't need to be up in there. So, we see Dean Wong, he comes and interrupts their conversation and asks Tate to leave. And he pretty much was saying, hey, Professor Carrie, we got these rumors that has been coming up, and I don't think it's right and appropriate for you to be giving a speech to these people, okay? And so, of course, Tate, he over there snooping whatnot, and he has to go out there in the hallway and get his cape so he could be Captain Save-A-Ho. So he interrupts and comes in. He's like, hey, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Dean Wan, I don't think this is a good idea, okay? This can be really not a good look, you know what I'm saying? Maybe looking as, a sexist thing that you are asking Carrie not to speak at this, memorial. So I don't know why I won't call him Professor. Dean Wong was like, okay, I'm going to let you go ahead and talk, Carrie, all right? And so, of course, Tate, he always has an ulterior motive. And he pretty much was saying, Carrie, yeah, you owe me. So, yeah, I can be your +1 to this memorial and whatnot. And I'm like, Tate, what you up to, bro? Because he always up to something. So, y'all, we see Zeke with this god-awful sweater. And he's packing his clothes in his dorm room like he about to run away from home. Like, I've never tried to run away from home. But, like on TV, how them kids be shoving, like, raggedy, random things to run away from home. That's how Zeke look, okay? And so Monet comes in. And she was like, Zeke, where have you been? You missed our meeting, okay? You missed our meeting to the agent and what have you. And Monet was like, hey, this man came up to tell me he was my pappy and whatnot, okay? And I'm going to, go see about this and go and ask my mama. And I'm like, are you about to take the train or the bus or drive? Like, I never really seen Zeke drive, but I presume he has a car. But yeah, Zeke, how are you getting to your mama? How close and far is she? Because apparently, from our knowledge, she is down south, okay? That's going to be several hours worth of driving. But, I have kind of a better solution, Zeke. Call the damn woman, okay? Like, we ain't over here with cell phones and FaceTime and all these options. Boy. Ugh, Zeke. Child, Monet. You got 2 dumbass sons. I hope you know that, girl. So Monet, she had the perfect opportunity, okay, to tell Zeke the truth. The truth. And she lies to the boy again. She tells him that, hey, the truth is your father is in jail for life, because Zeke thought his dad was, dead. And so he was like, are you serious? Are you sure? She was like, I don't know what for, but he is in there for life, okay? And this guy that you talking about, Mecca, that you mentioned, like, he is just trying to ride your coattail. I was like, yeah, Monet. Just like your raggedy behind. And I'm like, if I was Zeke, I would be like, okay, I want to see my daddy. Point blank, period. Let me see the man. He in jail, right? He ain't going nowhere. Let me see him. Put me on the list. Show me a picture. Something. So Monet, she upset. So she goes to Mecca's hotel room because, Dante has a hotel suite and Mecca has his own suite / penthouse, So because he never showed Monet the place that Kane knows, because he knows what he's doing, okay? And so she was like, hey, Mecca, how dare you? How dare you? I'm sorry, Dante, how dare you go to Zeke? And he was like, you forced my hand, nay. And of course, we got to always include the title of the episode in the dialogue, okay? So, he was pretty much showing like, hey, I'm upset, okay? You lied to me. I did not know I had a son, okay? And she was like, well, you left. He was like, no, I got arrested, okay? And then I had the option to go to jail or go to the military. And I chose the military because I didn't think I had any attachments here in the city, okay? So I want to really find out, guys, or when did Mecca realize that Zeke was his son? I feel like he knew before he came to this city. But also, I also kind of feel like he may have gotten the inkling when, what's his name? Kane, he was having those therapy sessions, telling all his family business to Mecca. I feel like he possibly realized for sure that Zeke was his son. I don't know. I'd be interested to know exactly at what point he was like, oh, this is my son. Okay, so yeah, y'all, Nene is mad, and she pretty much told Mecca, hey, we don't need you, okay? So leave us alone. And, they got that god-awful, suspenseful ass soap opera music in the background. Oh, God. So, y'all, we see Reek, okay? He's over there. He's meeting with Tamika at the church. And, he's saying, hey, I need your help. I need your guidance, okay? Because I do not want Yas to take the stand to save me, okay? And so Tamika was like, bruh, you too stressful, long story short. Because Tariq, low-key snitches that, he kind of had something to do with the professor dying, but not the cop dying. And she was like, I don't want to help you. I don't want to help you to become your father, because she had these photos on file. She was like, hey, these are the people that your father killed. And I was just wanting to say, no, girl, he ain't kill Lala, okay? That was Tasha. But, I love Tamika. I wish we see her more. I mean, she's always giving something. So I definitely enjoy Tamika. But she was telling him like, hey, won't you just go ahead and take a deal? You'll serve 5 years max. And yeah, you'll come out, you'll still be in your 20s, you still have plenty of your life to live, like, all's fair. And Tariq, he don't seem like he's trying to do that, okay? And so we see the moment that everybody has been waiting for, okay? Hobbs and Shaw, they are meeting up, okay? Mecca and Papi Chulo, a.k.a. Lorenzo, okay? And so, long story short, they're introducing themselves, and Lorenzo, his little ambitious self, he was like, hey, we're going to need more product because we're trying to take over Queens. And so Mecca was like, for real? Okay. Well, how about I give you guys all of my product? Oh, in addition to all my product, you're going to need more soldiers, right? Because you don't have enough. Okay. Well, I can supply you with that too. And I'm like, dang, Mecca, are you the drug dealer's Walmart? Like, what's going on here? He is supplying Lorenzo with everything. But at the end of the day, I feel like Lorenzo, You got to be smarter than this, bruh. But, of course, he don't know that's his wife, baby daddy, okay? And Mecca, this is low-key genius because what Mecca is doing, he is orchestrating such a plan. I don't know the entire plan, but it looks like he is trying to put Monet in a position where Papi Chulo is going to be back in the big house, okay? Because he has provided Lorenzo with pretty much the business. So he's low-key Lorenzo's boss at this point. So, yeah, at any moment, he could go ahead and just snitch on Lorenzo and all's well, and, Mary, a.k.a. Auntie Monet, a.k.a. Mama Monet, she will be single looking, back on the proud. And Dante can have his family again. I don't even know if he wants his family still. Well, really, Monet, because she's real trifling. But yeah, also by Mecca giving all of his supply to Lorenzo, it kind of messes up Kane and Monet and course correct because ain't no more product for them, bruh. So yeah, y'all, this is going to be interesting, okay? So y'all, we at Jabari's dinner and Tate, he has a convo with Daddy Weston and pretty much say, hey, yeah, there's going to be a photo that's going to come out and you're possibly going to be involved. And yeah, it involves blackface. So I'm going to urge you to have your buddy old pal step down to avoid any of this backlash, okay? And of course, Brayden, he overhears this conversation. So we're going to see how that turns up with him and Tariq, okay? So I'm like, Tate, I don't know how I feel about this decision because I felt like Tate should have had the photo in hand before he mentioned it. But I also don't mind that he went this route because this may have a way for Tariq not to actually have the photo and still get what he wants in terms of the seat. So, yeah, we're going to see how all this plays out, all right? So we see light-skinned Keisha, a.k.a. Bruce Andrea, and we see Lauren, okay? And they are introducing Carrie's trifling ass. And light-skinned Keisha, this dress she got on, y'all, I mean, she got the boobs out everywhere, okay? She got the triple D just out on a platter like Placow, okay? And I'm like, oh, girl, you cute, but is this appropriate? I'm just saying. Who you trying to snaz, okay? An old alumni and whatnot? Because, yeah, you are serving the boobage, all right? Of course, Lauren ain't feeling this. And Carrie, she's over there, trying to give her speech, but she overhears everybody just murmuring and, gossiping about her. And I'm like, ooh, y'all white people, y'all rude. Y'all don't know how to gossip behind people's backs or quietly. I'm just saying. But that, kind of forces Carrie to just break down, and she leaves and does not finish her speech. So, of course, an old, victim habit, she goes running into her office, and Tate runs after her to give her a little pep talk because, he had to pull that old cape out, okay? And, yeah, y'all, I really do feel like they're setting us up to where Carrie and Tate, they gonna be together. I really think they're going to end up together because they really had Carrie just really despising Tate at the very beginning. And we're now seeing the progression of Tate kind of weaseling and wiggling himself. Then, he's wearing her down like how Steve Urkel used to tell Laura. Like, I really feel like they're going to end up together and maybe, that's going to transfer over to Tate's show Influence. So we'll see if that actually happens or not. Okay. So, y'all, Lord, Lauren, she goes to Tariq's room, okay? And she's low-key trying to apologize. And she looks like she kind of wants to offer some information, okay? But no. We get interrupted by Diana coming up, okay? And so Tariq lets Diana in and keeps Lauren out, okay? And he was like, Lauren, I really shouldn't be talking to you. Kind of, playing her what she kind of played him early in that day or what have you. And so Lauren over there looking stupid. But I do feel like she was going to tell Tariq about the whole wire situation. So, yeah, that could have been to Tariq's detriment that he did not hear Lauren out. But it's all going to work out in itself because Tariq, he ain't going to jail for that long if he does go to jail, okay? So Diana, okay, dirty Diana, she's coming up in there and she's venting to Tariq about her family drama. And yeah, y'all, she confesses her low-key like for Tariq, and she was like, hey, we could not get together because there was a conflict of interest. You was working for my mom and my family, and yeah, that wouldn't have worked out. But hey, you're not working for my mom anymore, so what do you say, buddy, old pal? And Tariq was like, okay, if we gonna do this, mama cannot find out, okay? And you gotta be sure you want this. And I was like, girl, do you know what you signing yourself up for? No, but okay, proceed. And next thing we see them kissing and presumably about to have the sex, y'all. They had the sex, and I'm like, oh my God. I wasn't sure if they was going to really write Tariq having sex with all of the girls, but he literally had sex with each one in back-to-back episodes. And I'm like, Tariq, I hope you got condoms. I'm just saying. I really don't know if they're going to write Diana getting pregnant, y'all. Oh, Lord, this is too much, little telenovela. I'm just saying. So, y'all, we see Drew over there. He trying to watch TV and whatnot. And Kane's jealous, trifling behind, trying to change the channel like the trifling big brothers, big brother that he is or whatever. So he upset, because Kane, cannot get his way. He wants to be under Papi Chulo in his number 2. And long story short, he was getting real spicy with Drew. And Drew was like, you planted that badge in Tariq's room. So long story short, Kane was like, yeah, you know why I had to do that? You know why I had to kill the professor? Because your snitch ass boyfriend gave the cops and the professors your name. If he didn't know your name, we wouldn't be all up in this, okay? He would be alive. And I was like, you kind of right, Kane. You kind of right. When you put it that way, I'm just saying. So they end up fighting because Drew was not trying to hear about his boyfriend being a snitch, okay? So Papi Chulo had to come in and break the fight up. And Kane was like, well, we're fighting because Drew's boyfriend's a snitch. And Papi Chulo was like, is that true? Is that true, mijo? Is that true? And so, yeah, Drew was like, don't worry about it. It's good. It's good. And Papi Chulo was like, my little rule, no loose ends. I don't know why when he say that, I think of a Friday after next. No locked doors. So, yeah, y'all. Kane told Drew, if you don't handle this boy Everett, somebody will. So I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, Drew about to be a monster, y'all. So yeah, we see Yaz with this fly behind Burberry outfit. I'm like, ooh. See, I couldn't be like a rich parent, okay, because my child would be looking good, okay? Yaz was looking real cute up in there. So we see Davis. He's kind of asking her these pre-questions that she will be, answering when she's on the stand. And then we have Jenny. And yeah, she was doing pretty good when it came to Davis's questions. But Jenny's question was kind of tripping Yaz up. So I'm like, oh my God, this is not a good idea. So Tariq was like, no, I don't want this. My sister's not going to the stand. Point blank, period, okay? So Monet and Kane meet up, and Kane tells Monet, like, hey, Mecca is giving Papi Chulo all of the work, okay? Therefore, we are unemployed at the moment. We need to go to the office and file the paperwork, okay? And so Monet was like, we got to figure something out. And so we see Tamika. She at the Starbucks and whatnot, and she meeting up with Sax, and she was like, hey, we know Tariq didn't kill Ramirez, okay? He ain't do this crime, okay? And he does not want to snitch because he does not want to have Yaz and Big Mama, looking over their backs. He wants to make sure they're safe, okay? So I feel like if you're able to get Yaz out of the system, then, Tariq will be more willing to snitch or what have you. And so Sax, Lord, he got this whole vendetta with Ghost, okay? So the next best thing is to get Ghost's son, all right? And so he was like, hey, you know how I feel about Tariq. Long story short, if he ain't do this one, he need to go down for one of them bodies that he is responsible for, okay? And we see Tamika, she's being a good advocate, you know what I'm saying? She's like trying to save Tariq, and I low-key am feeling it. I'm excited, but Sax ain't trying to hear it, okay? And so we see Drew, he's in a car, and he's scoping out Everett. He's leaving, I guess, maybe one of his teammates' house or what have you. And so we see Drew, he got the ski mask on, he got the gun in hand. So he's about to, complete Operation Assassinate Bay, okay? So he's following Everett. He's like maybe 30 steps behind Everett. And he's about to put in that work, okay? But no, Everett sends him a text message, says, hey, I miss you. What are you doing? And of course, Drew gets all sappy and he responds, hey, I miss you too. I'm on my way to see you, okay? Because he was literally about to see him, okay? And so, of course, Drew, he gets second thoughts. And yeah, y'all, nice text messages saves lives, okay? So if you got, someone that you love, send them a nice text message, okay? You may be saving your life, okay? Because they may be low-key trying to kill your ass. Oh, God. So Diana and Zeke, they at the house and they're talking. And Zeke pretty much tells Diana about Dante and about, him claiming to be his daddy and whatnot. But in a previous scene, Diana saw a text message from AD stating that we need to talk. So, yeah, Diana, she gonna be putting two and two together, y'all. And, y'all, I cannot wait to see this showdown. So, we see Davis going in the parking lot, okay? And I think he's driving, I think it's a Bentley. I don't know, something that costs over $200,000, okay? And, he goes in the car and we see the classic scene where somebody's in the back seat threatening you with a gun to, your frontal lobe or what have you, okay? Well, maybe not the frontal lobe. But yeah, whatever lobe is behind your ear, y'all. I need to dig out my psychology book and figure out what lobe that is, y'all. Anywho, not going to spend too much time on that. But yeah, y'all, he pretty much threatens Davis, and Davis he finds out and realizes, like, hey, Kane is responsible for these murders and whatnot. And so Davis had a good point. He was like, hey, Tariq had he had an opportunity to snitch on you. He did not. But hey, you need to leave me alone, because if I get Tariq off, I'm thereby getting you off. So hey, we need to all be friends up in here, okay? So of course, Kane leaves and goes to his merry way. And I'm like, bruh, how did you even get in this car, okay? Yeah, I'm going to need you to take this back to the dealership, Davis, because the security measures are trash, all right? And so we see Papi Chulo. He over there trying to wine and dine his woman, okay? He got flowers and candles and, nice expensive boxes from luxury stores and whatnot. I'm like, Papi Chulo. Oh, that's so sweet. Like, and Mary, she came in there. She wasn't looking as bitchy as she normally does. And so he was like, hey, I have one question for you, mommy, okay? Are you still messing with that Tariq and the course correct? And I know that was horrible, guys. And she was like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, of course, it's another lie, because this is what Monet does. And so they proceed to, kiss and whatnot. And we presume that's going to be a good night for them, okay? So, y'all, we see Mecca's crew and Lorenzo's people. They ambushed the ops, okay? And, they executed Operation Takeover Queens, because we are trying to take over the queens and whatnot, okay? And I don't know why. Every time I think about power and queens, I think of the Queen's Child Project, okay? Ghost was really trying to get this up and running. How far did we get with the Queen's Child Project? Was this in his will, y'all? Let me know if y'all remember the Queen's Child Project, okay? So we see Tamika, Sax, and Jenny, okay? They at Reek's dorm room because, of course, everybody knows where Reek's dorm room is, okay? Reek, I'm just saying, to get your bread up, I suggest you start charging a toll or a minute admin fee, entry fee, something, because you getting all of the visitors or whatnot, okay? Your bread can be real up there, okay? You won't be struggling if everybody that come up in that room pay a little fine, all right? So, yeah, they pretty much has everything together for Tariq to pretty much take a deal, okay? They say, hey, we could get Yaz out of the system and we can have it to where you're only serving 5 years. And he was like, I'm not doing the 5, okay? Y'all remember that episode of Martin when they were trying to raise his rent and everybody thought it was $500, but it was only $5? Yeah, he ain't doing the 5, okay? Because he said the snitches end up in the ditches, and that's not safe. I cannot have and risk my family looking over their shoulder because I snitched. And I feel him. Streets 101, y'all. So Davis, he confronts Zach. He was like, bruh, you really tried to do an authorized deal with our client without me? Like, you know I don't do the deals, okay? They get off. They get off, and they should, because they are paying you guys tons of the moolah, okay? And so Davis was like, okay, we need to really find out what Tariq's girlfriend got going on. So, Saxe, he looks at the paperwork, and they realize that Carrie served as Lauren's counsel. And so, of course, Davis, he has a little hard on, okay? And so he's excited because he's like, this cannot get any better, okay? So Kane and Tariq meet up, and he pretty much tells Tariq, like, hey, ain't no more product. And Tariq was like, bruh, my case is tomorrow. I need that bread. And Kane was like, hey, you smart. You figured out there's more than one ways to get money. There's more than one ways to skin a cat. And I'm like, bruh, this is a we situation. Learn your French, okay? It should be we need to figure out how to get this money, okay? But as we see in your previews, it looks like, they're going to be going on some excursions and whatnot. So, oh, Lord, how they going to raise this money? It's going to be very interesting, okay? So, y'all, Davis goes to Carrie's house and pretty much tell Carrie, like, hey, you've been thotting and botting all up the road. New York City, okay? And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 people that you've been sleeping with that's involved in this case. Like, girl, you're messy and you're Lauren's counsel? I am going to rip Lauren to shreds when she get on that stand, girl. Like, what are you doing? And she was like, don't worry about Lauren. If Tariq finds out she's going to be in trouble and danger, we don't need to do that. And Davis was like, hey, my client is going to win at all costs, okay? And the episode goes off, y'all. So it was pretty decent. It was pretty good. I'm not mad at it. Tell me what you guys think, okay? So please like this video, okay? Please drop down in the comments. What do you think? What were your thoughts? What you like? What you dislike? What you think is going to happen? Share this video. And yeah, holla at your girl next week for episode 8. You guys have a blessed day. Bye-bye.